So I'll say that again because I wasn't recording. So you have these checkpoints here, and then each checkpoint knows the neighbor checkpoints, and the enemy use these to move around randomly. But the way these checkpoints know where have a list of the neighbors, I do it by code, not manually. So you see here I have a coroutine called create checkpoints, and so in here for each checkpoint I raycast to the up, down, left, and right to find the neighbor checkpoints, and then save these in a script that is on the checkpoint. I call it enemy checkpoint. You see, it's just a list with the transforms of the neighbor checkpoints. And then at the start, you see here. Oh, where is it? Actually, I don't see it. Yeah. So when these spawn, I just move these towards the closest checkpoints, and then they move randomly. But right now we have a couple of things to do. One is to create the loose condition. So when I guess when the enemy touches the player, like does the player have just 1 HP?
The player has, like, whenever they get hit once, they should lose a life.
But how many lives does the player have?
3.
3. Okay, and then when it gets hit, does the player get some immunity for some time?
Yes.
So 3 lives, right? Uh,
3 lives.
yes, but how do we do this? Like, where do we show the lives? In a corner?
Um, I would have it be.
We can do it with 1 life if you want. That would be easier, but you decide.
I think the requirements say that it has to have multiple lives.
Multiple lives. Okay. Let's see how to do this. We need some UI, I guess. Then
Yeah.
uh, let's see if we have some boxes. What is this? Excuse me 1 second. Be right back.
No problem.
Sorry about that. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you like this UI to be? We can put some hearts in a corner, or we can put a text that displays lives and then the number. Which one would you like?
Hearts would be fine.
Hearts. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I have hearts here. Let's see on each. So this is a good website for 2D assets, especially. Let's see some HP. Uh, this one looks nice. Let's see. Okay. Let's say let's first unpack this. Then we add it in our project. But I think you should know some stuff before um, writing the documentation.
Oh,
Like, do you not have any questions for the documentation?
pardon?
Yes, I was asking. You said that you then need to have a documentation for the game.
Oh, yes.
Will you need help with that as well?
No, I should be able to do that as if I'm provided with the code and stuff. What I'll probably do is I'll just probably run it through like ChatGPT and ask it to
Well, I'll try to
summarize.
comment it as best. I'll
Oh
try.
yeah, that's a good point. If you have commented it, it should be way easier then.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's use this. So for the HP bar, where would you like it in what in which corner?
Top left.
Top left.
If
Okay.
if the top left could have the health and the top right could have the score, and then the middle has the timer, that would be perfect.
So the score in the right, top right.
Yes, please.
Okay. Then okay. So if we're working with AI, we have to go to the canvas here, and then we'll create just an empty object here in the canvas. Okay, so you see if I double click, we go to the canvas, which is in a different place than the workspace. So let's place it here in the corner, resize it a little bit, like that. So I'll hold this, I'll call this um, um, health UI, and then let's use vertical horizontal layout group. So what this is, this lets us put elements, UI elements, at equal distance to each other because we want the hearts to be at equal distance. Uh, but yeah, we have to go here and create each heart. So for that, we need an image component to display the heart. But we want the heart. We want this thing here below the heart. But first, you see these sprites that we imported. There's an issue with those. The issue is you see this is blurry here. You can see it's because of the import setting. So if you're using pixel art, you have to say filter mode here point. So that
Yeah.
so if it is bilinear or trilinear here, it means it will combine the pixels. So to make the image smooth, and that is useful with high resolution stuff, but this is pixel art. We don't want to combine any pixels. That's the idea. So anyhow, you see now it's crisp. So that would be heart. I just call it heart, and then above it will place another image with the red one. Okay, and I would research this a little bit. So something like that. But uh, let's say black, and here we'll say we'll rename it heart. Heart. But sorry, one second. My sisters are making noise. One second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so now that we have that, it's time to actually first thing here in the image, we want to say preserve aspect, so it's the same ratio between the length and the height. And now we can copy it multiple times. We want 3 times like that. Maybe here in the health UI we decrease the size of this. Let's say maybe like that. See how that looks. Something like that. Okay, and now with that we have that. It's time to go to the game manager. Okay, the script. So here the script, and then we want to save those parts here, just the images, because we want to, once we get hit, uh, we want to remove the red heart from the UI. Um, yes, so here we'll say public, what is it, image, but it doesn't let us do this because we have to say using Unity engine UI. Okay, so we make an array of images because we want to save those and disable those. We'll say red hearts, hearts, heart images, like that. Uh, and then now we have to go to the player, and since that's 3 HP, we have to save that somewhere. We'll make an integer here and say HP. And we can even say, let's say it's history here. But you said that once it gets hit, it gets some immunity, right?
Yes.
Well, in that case, we have to also have here a bool, private bool is immune. I wrote that correctly, or it is double M? Is here a double M? How to say immune?
IMM, it's two M's.
Two M's? Okay, so I know that. Okay, and by default it is not immune. We'll say false. Now we have to create a function here to get hit by um, an enemy. Okay, but the thing is, this will be a process that takes time because we want to get hit, activate the immunity, then wait some time and return to normal. So that takes time. So that means we cannot use a normal function. We have to use a coroutine. So like I said, coroutine is like a function, but it's for processes that take time. You have to wait some time. So let's say enumerator. So that means coroutine. We call it get hit. And then here, the first thing we do is we just say it's return null. So we wait one frame, and then we check if. Oh, actually, never mind. No, sorry about that. So let's say we are not immune. We are not immune. Then what do we want to do? We want first we say it is immune now. So it is immune becomes true. Then we subtract one health from the player. So that means HP minus minus. So let's comment this label immunity decrease HP. Then we want to update the HP UI. So we have a reference to the game manager, and here we'll say game manager, but let's make sure that that array here is public. Okay, it is. Okay, let's go back here. But since you're using images, let's say in the engine UI. Okay. So we have to disable the one heart. So we have the red hearts array of images. Okay, but now that I'm looking at this, maybe we should not say images here. Let's just say instead game objects. So we just disable the whole game object, not just the image. Okay, and if you do this, let's rename this instead of images because now it's say all objects, short for objects. and we want the one at the index HP minus one. Okay, and we want to say is active is oh, not like this, set active is false. So we disable that HP minus one. Well, if we decrease it, then it's just HP here, not minus one. Okay. So now we disable the UI, and this time to you let me know how the immunity works. So is just immune? Does he get some movement speed, or the movement speed remains the same?
Well, technically in the game, what happens is that when you die, the ghost position and Pac-Man's position reset to where they spawned, but the pellets don't reset.
So when the player gets hit, the enemies go back into.
The enemies go back, but also Pac-Man goes back to where he started, if that makes sense. But that's kind of complicated. I think that you could just get away with having immunity.
Okay, but if you do have immunity, then we need some sort of visual effect to let us know that we have immunity. Okay,
Sorry, your mic cut out.
can you hear me now? Hello?
I can hear you now, I guess.
Yes. So we'll have to make some visual effect for that, so that we know we're immune. Okay. So
Okay.
what I'm suggesting is we fade in and out the transparency of the player, so that way we know it's immune.
Yeah.
If you do that, we'll have to use something here. What is it? Yeah, here. We'll use this here. It's a bit complicated, but if you want, I can explain. Uh, so we need to fade the transparency in and out. But for that, we need a sprite renderer, which we have here in the player script, the sprite renderer. And we want to do that by modifying the color of the sprite renderer. So how do we do that? First of all, we want to repeat this process a couple of times. So let's say for int equals 0, smaller than, I don't know, how long would you like this to last in seconds, the immunity?
Maybe like 3 seconds. Would that be enough? Or
Okay, 3 seconds. So let's say from 0 to 3 plus plus. So this loop will repeat it 3 times now. And now comes the not so clear part. So here, let's say fade in and out 3 times. And here is where we do the fade. Now, if you said that 3 seconds, then each fade in and out must be 0.5 seconds. But let's say here, integer fade duration is 0.5 f. Okay, so I'll explain how this works in a second, but first let me write it.
okay.
Now we don't want to fade that completely, so we'll fade it to, let's say, actually let's test that in Unity here. Where's the player? Let's see how much do we want to fade the player color. All right, this is the
Maybe,
transparency.
yeah, maybe 25% would be good.
25%. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a little bit more, maybe like okay, 25. Let's try 25% and see. We can modify it later. It's no problem. Uh, yes. So we want this here float fade duration. So that's how one fade in or out will last. And now we want to know the limit. So that will also be a float. We'll call it fade alpha. That will be 0. You said 25%, so we go to from 1 to 0.75.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have to fade it. We fade it in. Sorry, we fade it to transparent and then back to fully visible. So here we say the sprite renderer color now becomes a new color. and we maintain the red, green, and blue. We don't want to the color. We want just the transparency. So here we say we maintain the red, green, and blue, and then we use a function here to select a value uh, between the starting value, starting alpha, which is one. So one,
Yes.
and then the fade alpha. I use a variable because maybe we want in the future to change that alpha. So that will fade it in. But first, let's say here. Uh, Actually, that's okay. I think. So let's say here, fade in or fade out. How do you say that? I guess fade out, right? Fade out alpha,
Yes.
and then fade in alpha. So we do the same here, but we go from whatever the transparency is back to normal. And then just to be sure that it is that value, here we'll say sprite render equal, sorry, color equal, color white. So back to normal. Do you want me to explain this how this works? Because it is
Uh,
important. You can actually use it in the future. It's very important technique. So
yeah, sure. I have a just a question before this though.
yes,
Um, you are implementing like the power ups, right?
I'm implementing what? Sorry,
Power ups.
I don't know what it is.
Uh, like in Pac Man when you eat the pellet, there's like the four pellets that power up. It's my accent. I'm sorry.
Can you type that? Sorry, I'm sorry. I do not. Can you type it in the DM? In DM? Sorry, I just don't understand. Oh, the power up. Okay. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Sorry,
Yes,
my
yes,
accent.
we'll do that as well. But first, let's make the ability to get hit. Okay.
You might want to just for whenever you have the power up, could you make it so that he fades like yellow instead of transparent?
Yeah,
To make
we can modify that the color, but it will not look that good,
Yeah,
unfortunately. We'll see how to do that. Maybe we
no
can
problem.
change it altogether. Like, yeah, maybe there is a possibility to change the whole with a completely different character. Okay, but let me
Okay,
explain how this fade works. Okay, so we repeat it here 3 times. Okay, so we have this word that repeats it. So we fade out. How does this work? Okay, let me zoom in so you see it. So this is an unusual for, you see we have a float, not an integer. So usually you use for to repeat a process a certain number of times that you know. But here this for here is for, instead of counting steps, it counts time. Okay.
okay,
So we go from 0 to 1. So we count 1 second. So you see here we add the time difference between frames. So in other words, we count time, and then we divide here by the fade duration. So now this for does not last 1 second, it lasts how many seconds we want, which is the fade duration here. And then we modify the color of the sprite, but just the transparency here. So this MATLAB here selects a value between a starting value and an ending value, and the last parameter here is where exactly between those points we select the value. So if this t is 0, then that means the starting value. If it's 1, then it means the ending value. And if it's somewhere between, then it's somewhere between those two values. That's how we.
okay,
That's how this works. And then that one is exactly the same, but we go from transparent to visible. It's exactly the same. Okay, so we fade in and out, and then we revert to. We say immune is back to false. Okay. But um, we have to create a function now. Public, we'll say public void start get hit. So here we started this coroutine. only if we can get hit. So that means two things. It means if uh, the player is not immune, so we can say not immune like that. And also this means and the HP is different than or not different, but bigger than 0. Okay, so only then we start routine. This one get hit, but when do we call this? When we collide with an enemy. So let's go back to the interface and make sure that the enemies have the enemy tag. That way we can uh, use those in use the enemy tag in the on trigger. So it already has the enemy tag. Now we just have to say here in the on trigger. So meaning when you collide with something that is not it's just a trigger collider without physics. So we check if collision compare tag is enemy. Then we just call this function here. Start get hit. Okay, and that should be enough. But now in here, when we decrease the HP, we also want to verify that it is not. At the end here, we want to verify that uh, it is 0. So let's say here if HP is different or not different but bigger than 0, then we do this stuff here. So let's copy everything like that. Okay. Only so we only start fading the colors transparency if the player still has HP, because if he has 0 HP, that means he's dead and the game is over. And I guess now we need some sort of effect for the game over. I have an idea, and you let me know if you like it. Okay.
No problem.
So this player, what if we just in time increase the size of it like that and rotate it a little bit, and it covers the whole screen. What do you say about that?
Yeah, that could work.
I think that could be funny. So that could be an idea. But if you do that, we have to do a couple of things. So if HP is not 0, then we do that. But else, let's say here else. But first, yes. Sorry. What is this? So if it's dead, then we want to do that effect. So let's call a function. Actually, we cannot say a function. Let's say on dead. If you do that effect, first of all, we want to move the player. We want to move the player to the center of the screen. So that's just vector 3, 0. And we want to increase the scale so that it covers the whole screen, so or most of the screen. But if you do that, we need to disable a bunch of stuff from here. Do we have the box collider? No. So let's save the box collider 2D so that we can disable it. Like that. Okay. So now here we have to disable a bunch of stuff. So the first thing is, wait, so we disable component useless components. So the first is box collider. We say enabled. It's false. Then we want to disable maybe the. Actually, do we want to disable the animation or not? Like, should the player be still keep running? I don't know.
No, probably not.
If not, then yes, I think. Okay, let's see how that works. We'll test it. So animator, then we say enabled is false. We disable the rigid body today, no physics. Oh, that's just a bit disabled. False. But why does the oh, I call that incorrectly. And I think that's it. Now we can create that effect. Why does that not work? Oh, well, I guess we can say it's kinematic now, the rigid body. Well, yeah, let's just say kinematic. So let's say kinematic. What is that called actually? Body type. Body type. Rigid body 2D kinematic. How do I say this? Equal kinematic. Yes, this one. So what that means is now this doesn't have gravity or anything. It's just it can only be moved by script. So that way, when we move it to the center of the of the screen, it doesn't get velocity from that movement. Yes, that works. That should work actually. I will test. I don't know. So now that we had disabled the to useless stuff, we create the effect. So how do we do that? We use the same stuff that we used here. Um, so this for here. So now we just move to center of screen over time. For that we use a completely different uh, code here inside of our. But also before that, let's create a couple of variables. So float move duration, then float rotation duration, rotation power, because we have to rotate it a little bit. So here we have the move duration. Let's see what else. We need vector 3 starting position. So that would be this one that it is right now. So transform position. Now another thing we should do is we want to do the movement only if the HP is not 0. So here let's say if HP is bigger than 0, then we do all the controls. Otherwise we'll get a bunch of errors when we try to move. So we delete that copy inside of this if now. So we have controls only if we have HP, so the player is alive. And here let's say vector 3 that. Oh, sorry, not like that. So transform position is equal vector 3 log from the starting position to vector 3 0. So that's the center of the screen. And then we put that T here. So how long should this last? I don't know. Like 4 seconds.
The death animation?
Yes. So when we increase the size and move it to the center of the screen, how long should
Maybe
that?
like
Oh, and
maybe
also
like
also let's say
3 seconds.
also I forgot here we have to say also uh, float and size. So how big should it be? And that for that we have to test. Let's have put 20 in here and test it here in the inspector. With that, we have to experiment. Yeah, I think 20 will cover the whole screen, but maybe it's a bit too big. Maybe like that. Yeah, I think 15 is good. So here we'll say 15 instead, like that. And when you say a float, you see you have to say f of the end at the end. Uh, so in here we move it to the center, but also and also increase size. So here we move it, and then uh, modify size. But here that's the ending size. The starting size also we need that. So start size will be equal to transform scale x. So that's the starting size. So here we'll say transform local size scale. Sorry, scale, not size. That will be a new vector 3, and then we have to use the lerp again here, but not actually. Let's make a variable here, or actually never mind. So not vector 3 lerp, but mat f lerp. So this lerp here is for vector 3s. We move one. We'll select a point between two positions, but here we want to say lerp between the starting size and the end size, and that's for the x and the y. And then for the z, it's a 2D game, so we just maintain 1 on that. So this will move it and rescale. But before that, I would like to give it some rotation. Some rotation. So I think it's angular velocity. I'm not sure, but we'll not use that. We'll use what is this? Yes, add torque, like that. So that means add the rotational force. And then here we have the rotation, let's call it force. I don't know. With that we have to experiment. Let's just give it 20. I don't know what that means, 20, but so here we add rotation force, digit body. So that happens on that. And I guess now it's time to test, I think. Uh, yeah, it's time to test. But before that, we made a mistake here. We have to not mistake, but we forgot to put the UI in the game manager to connect the UI elements. So here in the gamer manager, we have these red hard objects. We have 3, so let's put 3 in there. And now we just want the red hearts in order, in the correct order from top to bottom. Now we have that, but also these do not have anchors. You see this one here.
Yes.
So that will help us rescale to different screen resolutions. So I like to put them in the corners of the UI, like that. Okay. So now it's
Yes.
time to test. Let's see if it works. So now we should get hit by the enemies. That will be the power up those cherries there, but I did not code it yet. Okay, so I get hit, but nothing happens for some reason. For that, let's check our player script. Where is it, player?
Would that be a collision issue?
I think so. Okay, this one is triggered. Oh, okay. I think I'm stupid. Okay, yeah. Okay. So here in project settings, physics 2D, I think I disabled the interactions. Yes, you see, player and enemy is disabled. So let's enable that. I disabled it because at some point the enemies also had physics, but now they don't. So it's okay to enable to have the physics between those two layers. So the player and enemy is enabled. So that was the issue. Let's see now. I'd like to zoom in, but I don't know how. Let's
Uh,
see.
scale.
Yeah,
It's
it
to
works. It
scale
works.
up.
You see,
Oh,
it
it
does.
works.
It does work. But okay, let's see if I die. What happens? Let's see if I can die here. Okay, so it works. But uh, okay. Uh, yes. So we have two issues. One is when we fade that transparency very is not visible well enough. So I would actually change that to 50% transparent like that.
Okay.
That's one issue. The other one is when we added the torque, so the rotational force to rotate it. It does not work because by default, because we have physics when we move. I have the rotation disabled. Uh, so you can put constraints on the rigid body and say you don't want to move it on X or on Y, or the rotation should not work. Uh, so in here you see I have in the rigid bodies here you see freeze rotation. Now the question is how do we disable that? I'm not sure, but we have to do it here. We have to say constraints. Yes. Um, okay, let's see on the internet Unity. Rigid body, no constraint. Let's say 2D actually. Yeah. Rigid body 2D, no constraint by default. I don't know the syntax for this. Um, oh, rigid body constraints none. Oh, that's very useful. So we just say constraints equal to this stuff, and this should disable the all constraints. So let's test again without the constraints and also with the new transparency. And also we'll have to add some visual effects and some sound. But we'll do that tomorrow. Now let's just make it playable.
Okay.
And then, oh, and also, do you mind if I put this in my portfolio? So I post it on each.
No, it's grand.
Okay. Just make sure your
Um,
professor. Actually, I don't know if it's a good idea, but okay. I don't think your professor will find it. Don't worry. Don't.
can I ask a question? See, so in the assignment that I have to do, there's a section that basically is about how you made a version of the game and then you got feedback and you updated the game to meet that feedback.
Oh, I see. Okay, and so you have to get feedback and then update it.
Yeah, do you think that the playable version could be considered the pre-feedback version and then the stuff like the sound effects and all could be considered the like updated version after I've received feedback? I'll just make the feedback up and say someone told me to add
I guess
feedback.
you can what you can so what do you mean by that? You need two project files, one with the older version and one with the newer version, or you just have to move to say something in the documentation.
Okay.
So I don't understand. I don't fully understand.
Sorry, your mic cut out there. What was it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I was asking, um, do you just have to say something in the documentation, or do you actually need two versions of the game?
I basically have to write like I basically have to say that somebody gave me feedback on the game and I adapted
Well,
that feedback and updated the game and added new
yeah,
the feedback.
you can make that up. You can make that up. You can say, for example, you had the same enemies, and then someone told you that you can use different sprites, and then you made enemies with different sprites. For example, uh,
Okay,
you did not have the power up, and then you made it or something. You can make it up. You can make whatever.
yeah, that's a good
Uh,
idea.
so let's see now if the animation works when we die. Also, the enemy is a little bit slower than the player, and I don't know if that's good or not. You let me know. So you see the animation works very well. We get it.
Right.
We are immune. Let's see now. Well, you see, it still does not rotate for some reason. So let's give it more force. I think I don't know. Can we actually just say instead of this not torque? Is it called angular velocity? I'm not sure. Is that rotation? Angular velocity. Maybe at force doesn't work here. Actually, I should have checked the player to see if the uh, constraints are off uh, in the rigid body. So we'll do that now. Sorry, I should have checked that. And then we have to create the power up. Um, and I guess the respawn of the enemy works. I haven't tested it. Okay, now get damage here. Yes, but constraints. Okay, let's see that before we close the scene. So where's the rigid body? Rigid body. No rotation. That's good. Kinematic. That's good. Yeah. Why did he did? Okay. It collided with something, and that's not okay. Um, it shouldn't collide with anything because it's kinematic. Actually, I'm not sure about this. Um, yes. We have an error here. It's colliding with something, and I'm not sure how to fix this. Also, why is it colliding with something? Because we disabled the collider, so I'm not sure how does it collide with something if it's not if it has no collider. Okay, but now okay, what was that? I'm not sure.
I have an idea for the death animation.
It's okay. I think we can then after this stuff we can just put some UI that says game over. Okay.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is we say make a panel like that. That's UI above everything. We call it game over panel. Okay, and then oh also Let's give it the square sprite here so it covers the whole screen. Now this will be black, something like maybe darker, something like that, I guess. Just say 0.8. So we fade this, but also we want some text, I guess, that says game over, and then a button uh, to restart or to go to the main menu. For that, um, let's do that. So text first, some text. Let's enter it, give it a font. Do you want it in a specific color, or can it be white?
White, preferably.
Okay, so let's just say this will be game over, like that.
Yes.
Now we increase it a little bit, like that maybe. Uh, Replace it, sorry, reposition it, like that. And then below it we have, so let's call that game over text. And below that we'll have a button that will take us, we'll have two buttons actually. We'll have a restart and go back to main menu. So this here, let's call it restart game button. We just have to modify the text in here, make sure it's a nice font. So that would be main menu, and then we can just duplicate it, like Control D. Sorry, that is the, so this will be the main menu button. Put it below like that. The other one, we have to rename it to restart. Now, restart. Well, which one do you want to be first? So below the game over, the restart or the main menu?
Restart.
Okay, then I guess this is good enough.
Yeah,
Now we just
looks
have
good.
to do a couple of things. So we have to place the anchors in here, like that. Uh, I'm not an expert at this. I'm sure this will not look good on our resolutions, but unfortunately I'm not an expert at anchors. Basically use
It's
this to
fine.
resize for different screen resolutions. Okay, now we have those. Okay, and we'll do something here. We'll on the main object we'll put a component called canvas group. So what this will allow us to do is we can modify the transparency of all the UI that are children of this object and the object. You see, so we can do that. So
Yeah.
by default this will be 0, and also not only that, but it will not be active, so we'll disable it. So once that the player reaches the center of the screen with animation, we want to enable this panel. So for that, we need a couple of things. Here in the game manager, let's see, where is it? I guess here we're using UI. I'll just say here UI stuff. So we want that object and also the canvas group of that object. So let's say public game object, uh, game over panel, and then let's have a private canvas group, game over panel canvas group. So here in the start, we'll just say this canvas group is not object, but we get a component canvas canvas like that. So now we have the canvas group component. And then we should make a function that fits that, and that would be a coroutine. Um, oh, and also here in our player, where is our player? When we die, also we want to say that the game is over here. So the first thing we do, let's say game manager, or actually, wait, let me see how that works. Is game over? It's true. Or how did I call it? Game over. Yeah, this should be public, so we can access it from the player. So is game over becomes true, and then uh, we want a coroutine here. Um, yes, we want to create a coroutine that will fit our UI. So let's say, and this I don't think needs to be public. We can just say nothing. Call it fade game over fade. Let's copy the fade from the player here. Okay. And here we just fade alpha to 1 of that, but first we enable it. So first enable the game over panel object. So we say game over panel, set active, true, and then we fade fade alpha of canvas group. Now the question is how long should this last? I don't know, like 2 seconds. I think it's a good value. So let's say float
Yeah.
fade duration equal to 2 seconds. So here we fade the transparency, so that canvas group panel CG alpha, and now we don't have to construct the whole color. It's just this is just a float. So let's say another matef blur. The value is 0 right now to 1, and then t here, and just to make sure it's at the end the exact value, let's make it 1 at the end, and that should enable our panel. And we want to do this in the player script. So let's say here public void start game over fade. Also in here we want some functions that will take us to the will restart the game um, or go to the main menu, but we do not have a main menu. We'll have to create that. So in here we just start coroutine this game over fade coroutine like that. And then we can say this function in the player script after it reaches the center. So here we move it, and then we say game manager that function. Okay. So here enable game over okay. And now in the game manager we should have two functions here. One for restarting the game. So restart game. And for that we need using Unity engine in management. So here we can say but also okay, let's just do it instantly, but we'll maybe if we want to add some effects we'll have to modify it later. So let's say scene management, scene manager, scene load scene, and then the name of the scene, which is I think game. So that will be for the game, and then we have to create another scene for the main menu. Okay, so that's right now. Create scene. I'll just say menu. So let's do another function here. Go to menu. So here menu instead of game, and this will just do it instantly. We'll go to the scene. Do will load the scene instantly, but later you might want to add some visual effects. So now that we have those two functions, we can go to our buttons that right now are disabled, but it doesn't matter. We can put the functions anyway. So for the reset button, we click on it, go to here on click, select our game manager in the scene, and then the function. So game manager, and then we look for our, this is the restart, so restart game. And let's do the same for the main menu button. And then say go to menu. And this should work now. Time to test. But let's go to the menu. Yeah, that's just an empty scene. Let's see if it works. So let's go to the game, but before that, if you transition from one scene to another, you have to add all the scenes here. So let's add the menu here. Okay. And then go back and test. Time to test. But let's see, we have one error that is because we forgot to add the UI here in the game manager. Now it's added. So what should happen now is we die, and then the player moves and increases its size, and then after that, after it reaches the center, we should see the loading screen. You see?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I kind of like that. He's like floating away.
now if you click this, we should restart. You see?
Yeah, that's perfect.
But let's see, because I don't like the fact that it moves. I don't know how even how it collides with something, because it goes to the center like that. Oh yes, that could be an issue. Yes. So the issue is here when we start moving it. Also, we want to change the velocity to 0. So linear velocity is now vector to 0. So in other words, make make rigid body not. In other words, no. So no. There's no velocity. That was the issue. I guess now we can start creating the main menu, and then maybe the power up if you have time. How much time do you have?
I'm free all night.
All right. Then let's create the main menu here. So for the main menu, let's see, how do we do that actually? I have some ideas in mind. Well, I'm looking at this, and why don't I see color in here? Why is there no? Oh, yes, solid color. Okay, now we can modify it. So let's make it some sort of black gray like that. So I'll show you first how to create a background that moves. So an animated background. For that, we just make a sprite. And we have some textures here, but first make sure that these are single. sprite, and then no filter, because this is pixel art. So we'll call this background. Okay. Uh, let's reposition it to the center like that. Add our texture. Which one? Let me know which one do you like better. Let me zoom in on that. So we have that pink, green. Which one do you like?
I think green suits the game more because it's like
Okay.
in the grass.
Okay. And now this is just a draw mode simple. So but we want this to be tiled. So here we say tiled like that.
Yep.
And let's say 10 by 10 should cover the whole screen, but not this way. You see, we can increase the scale like that. And now the texture is bigger. Uh, let's say 15 times 15. I think that should cover everything. Yeah, that should work on all resolutions. Uh, Now that we have that, we want to create the illusion that this is animated. And to do that, we'll create a script in here that will just increase the size of this. So let me show you what I mean by that. Uh, where is the height? Yeah. So we can animate it horizontally like this, you see,
Yep.
or vertically or diagonally. So, but I'll do it diagonally because that looks the best. Uh, but you could create modes, different modes if you want, but I don't think that's necessary. Just have one mode, move it diagonally. So let's say script down. Okay, let's open that. Okay, so for that we just need the sprite renderer.
Sorry, I'm being called. Can you give me like 1 second?
Yeah, sure, I'll wait.
Cheers.
You know when you're back. Oh, who's that? For some reason I can't. Okay, let's see this one. Oh, hello, Neo. We're waiting. Oh, hello. We're just waiting for our friend here, Rip. This is the project. He needs this for college. It's just a remake of Pac Man. So he needs help with that. Um, we're pretty close to finishing it. I think tomorrow we'll finish it. So right now we're trying to create a main menu because we have the game already. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't mind. You can stay anytime. Yeah, it's no problem. But right now we're waiting for Rip to come back. Um, um, so you see, we're trying to animate our backgrounds, but this is a different kind of animation. We don't use the animator. We just have this texture, and we increase the size to create the illusion of animation. But the issue with this is that if it reaches a certain size, it will give us an error. So we have at some point reset it to the starting value. Uh, so that's, but let's wait for our friend. Meanwhile, I can create some UI here so that we don't waste time. Yes, I'm sure there is a way to do it with the animator, but I'm not sure how at the moment. Um, so this will be very simple. This is just want the play button here, uh, and maybe some decoration so that it looks nice. Uh, so for the canvas, um, very important thing about canvas is you want this UI to stretch to different screen resolutions. So you almost never you will never use this constant pixel size. You have to say scale with the screen size, and I give it here reference to Full HD. So we just want the button here, start game, and then we can maybe decorate it with something. I don't know.
Hi, I'm back.
All right. So I made the script while you are AFK. I'll go through it so you understand it. So we have this background here. It's just a sprite renderer that is in draw mode tiled. So now it's tiled the image. You give it some width and height, and here in the script, we just every frame you see we increase the size by with some speed. But sometimes at some point we want to reset to original value because in Unity if you reach a certain size it gives you an error. So from time to time we reset it to original value, and that time is when it reaches 40 on either axis. So that's the script. It's not that complicated. Let's
Okay.
give it some value for the growth speed. Also, I created a canvas, so we just want a button here. We'll call it a play button. Okay, let's resize it like that and give it a nice. Actually, let's make the button black, like that, and then the text white, and then give it a nice font. Play, resize that a little bit, like that maybe. Uh, and let me show you some particle effects that could be nice. So for that, let's go here, effects, particle system. Let's make sure here in render mode we put it above the background. So order in layer 1 like that. So we have now this particle system. And we want to use sprites. So we go here, whole sheet, I don't know what is this sprite, grid, sprites. Yes, sprites. Yes, sprites like that. And let's see, what can we do here? Oh, we can add multiple, that's nice. So this is just for fun. Let's add some sprites from so let's for example add our the player character. Yeah, this is just for fun. Um, and you see now use this guy. That's one. We'll add more here. Let's add some of our enemies. So we have the angle peak here, like that. Uh, but I for some reason sprites must be rectangles. Why is this not rectangles? A rectangle. Uh, Let me see. Sprite must use a rectangle. Change the atlas mesh to full rect. So here we should say full rect here. I'm not sure what that is, but I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, it's actually from the first guy here. Uh, let's say full rect. I'm not sure what that is, but hopefully this fixes it. Nope. Uh, yes, I'm not sure what the issue is with that. 1 second. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Origin. Okay, so for some reason it only lets me add this guy. So I guess we'll just have this guy here. And we want to change the emission shape from cone to let's do box. Where's box? Now, yeah, you can maybe increase that. Yep, that's just for fun. Let's put that below like that. And now let's give this guy some random rotation. Where is it? Start rotation. Can I give it random between two constants? And I guess we only care about the z, so 360 like that. So now it's a random rotation, and let's give it a random color. So the color should be random between two colors. So the first one is that, and then the other one is the same but with a different transparency, like that. You see. And now I have these guys here. That's one with a different
Cool.
transparency. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe let's give it different sizes. So here where it says start size, let's say random between two sizes, and let's make them smaller actually. So let's say 0.5 like that and like that. So now we have these with random color, random rotation, and random size. And maybe increase the emission a little bit like that. Maybe it's one more. And also make them slower a little bit. So the speed here, the start speed, let's make it also random. So we make between 3 and 5 like that. So now they have a different speed also, you see. So we have that effect just for fun. And now let's create here. It's just, this will be very simple, just a script that will start the game when we click play. And now I have to ask, do you want a transition effect from this, or do you want to go straight to the game? Because we can make a panel. Let me show what I mean. Like that, make it black, uh, like that. We can do this stuff. Okay. Do you want an effect
Yeah,
like?
like see it in the black.
So do you want an effect like this?
Would that be difficult to do?
No.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's that. So if you do that, uh, let's make an empty object. Call it menu manager. Create a new script in our script folder. Menu manager. Manager. Okay, add it to our object. Let's put it on. And I will do this effect, and then we'll stop for today. And I think tomorrow we'll polish it, and then by Wednesday should be finished. Okay.
Okay.
Let's add the main menu here. For this, first we need that panel to fade. So we'll make a panel, and the issue with the texture here, the source image, is that it does not cover the whole screen. So if you do this, make sure always to have an image of a square, a perfect square, and then use that instead. So let's make that black. Okay, and we want some. Let's make it fun. So we'll add some animations here. Okay, so let's for it, first let's add an image of the player. Yes, preserve aspect, resize it a little bit. So we'll have this guy here running and say loading at the same time. So let's say here player image. Now we need to animate it. So we'll add animator here, animator component. Go back to our animations here and say new animator controller player image. Add that here. So I'm just trying to make it look nice. So let's drag that here, and now we go to window animation, and let's use the running animation. So I'll call it their image, this animation. And so now we just drag and drop the frames from the animation like that. Make sure it's the same as the one in game, so 20 frames. So here we have this guy here running. And we want to place also a text below it that says loading. So first let's center it, resize it a little bit, maybe not that big. And then this will just say loading. And then the font to something nice like that. Let's go to the canvas, reposition this a little bit. So this here. So let's call it loading text. And this panel will have a canvas group so that we can canvas so that we can modify the alpha. And also yeah, so by default this should be 0 like that, but let's make it 1 so that we can rearrange this a little bit. For example, we have to place anchors on the player image, so we place them in the corner so it's in the same place regardless of the resolution, like that. Okay, that's done now. And here in the now let's make the transparency 0 and then disable this. And now in our what is it? Menu must be menu manager. We want two things in here. One is public game object, transition panel object, and then we want the private canvas group, transition panel CG, so canvas group. We get that in the start function by script. So that object and then the component group like that. We don't need to update. We just make a coroutine. So numerator start game. Let's copy from this script just that for here, so we can fade anything with this for. So let's fade canvas group alpha. So let's say float, fade duration, make that, let's say, 2 seconds. Okay. So here we fade the transparency, so the canvas group alpha, and then we use the lerp function to fade it. So mat f lerp from 0 to 1, and then that t. And here at the end, just to make sure it's completely visible, we say that alpha is 1. And then we wait some time, so yield return new wait for a second. So let's make this transition last a couple seconds, and then we transition to the game. So using Unity engine scene management, and then here we say manager load game. So that's it. This should work. But before that, let's make a function that we can use on our button. So we'll say start. So let's call it start game routine. And here we'll say start game. So we just start the coding. Um, yeah, this should work. Oh, I forgot something very important. This panel is not active. So first, let's say uh, first activate that. So true here first, and now this should work. We just need two things. One is we need to add the panel here to the script, and the second thing is we want to add the function to the button. So where's the button? I think this one. Oh, this one here. So main menu manager, and then we select that function, which is here somewhere. Start game. Okay. So let's see how that looks. Let's see. We have these guys floating, and then we press play. You see, now we have that, and then that goes to the game. But I don't know. Do you want that effect here as well? I think we should have that.
Yeah, I like that effect.
So here, let's see. One issue is we start counting even though the game. Uh, yes. Okay. So let's replicate this effect here in the game, but with this time we fade to transparent. So let's save this panel here as a prefab, okay? And then we go to the scene of the game, drag that in here in the canvas. By default, this is true. Sorry, it is enabled, but why don't I see it? Wait, what is this? Oh, it is alpha. Okay. So by default, this is here. Now we go um, in our game manager and say uh, so two things here. One is public game object transition. Let's just copy this from the game manager actually, like that. Uh, then we get it in the start function with this. Okay, and somewhere in here we start the game. I'm not sure where that is. We actually do not have a function for that. So let's say here enumerator start game 14, and let's copy the stuff from here. Okay, but we adapt it a little bit. Uh, so we say that this is at the end false. We disable it. That's one thing. By default, we'll say that is game over is actually true. So we don't count the seconds when we start. And here we say that is game over is false. So we can start counting after this animation is done. So here let's put 0. So we go from 1 to 0 this time. So the other way. Uh, same duration. Same duration, but we have to start here. Wait, where's the checkpoints actually? Okay. Um, Actually, now that I'm looking at this, why don't we just copy this stuff from here, like that, delete that, and just put it here when we create the checkpoints. So before that, let's do uh, transition effect, and then we do the game over this, so we enable the counting of the second at the end of this, like that, and I guess that should be uh, good. But now we need to add this to the game manager and test, see if it works. And if you have questions, please let me know. But if you do have questions, put them in the chat of the server. So in the Unity lesson live chat, you should post them there. So we select the game manager, and now we just place that UI panel. And now it's time to test. We're going to the main menu scene. Time to test. So now this transition should appear both in the main menu and
Oh,
in the game as well. You see, so it is working now. You see,
yep.
yeah, it is working very well. So I guess that's it for today. We should stop now.